Module 5, Measures of Central Tendency. So, there are actually 3 ways on how we are going to describe our data. And isa lang itong measures of central tendency. Yung dalawa pa ay tungkol sa measures of variation and yung isa ay measures of position. But for now, mag-focus tayo sa measures of central tendency. When we say measures of central tendency, siya yung nagpo-provide sa atin ng convenient way kung paano describe yung set of data natin with a single number. Si measures of central tendency din, siya yung it is a value wherein ito yung ginagamit natin to represent yung typical or average value ng ating data set. So, dito sa first topic natin about measures of central tendency, meron naman tayong tatlong commonly used na measures of central tendency. Ito ay yung ating mean, median, and mode. And of course, i-discuss din natin in computing these 3 commonly used measures of central tendency, i-discuss din natin yung kung paano i-compute ang mga data natin for ungroup and for group data. Magkaiba kasi yung procedure and yung mga formulas na gagamitin natin dyan sa ungroup and group data. So, unahin natin yung mean. When we say mean or arithmetic mean, siya yung pinaka-most familiar and most widely used measure in our daily life activities. Let's say, during your grade school, di ba, kino-compute yan lagi. At the end of the school year, kino-compute lagi yung ating average. Siguro naman alam natin lahat kung paano computein yung ating average, di ba? Ina-add natin lahat ng mga grades natin sa different subjects natin. Then we simply divide it by kung ilan yung in-add natin or kung ilan yung subjects natin. And that's how we get the average, our GWA, general weighted average, na grade natin during grade schools. So, it is the most reliable value in which all the values of the variable are taken into consideration. And it is also the sum, simply the sum of all data values divided by the number of values in the data set. So, the mean of a sample data set is denoted by X bar. Kapag sample data yung ginamit natin, ang gagamitin nating symbol will be the X bar. While kung population naman yung ating data, gagamitin natin yung Greek letter mu. So, yun yung mga symbols natin for sample and for population data. And for the formula naman, as you can see sa ating table, we have the sample mean and population mean formula. And this formula is for ungroup data lang. But, as you can see, pareho lang sila. Pinagkaiba lang is yung symbol for sample at saka population. Pag sample mean, we use X bar to denote na yun ay sample mean. Ginagamit naman natin ang Greek letter mu kung ito ay galing sa population. Okay. And again, the denominator is just the same. It's small letter n for sample, while capital letter N naman to denote na yun ay sa population mean. And our numerator here is the summation. We read this as summation of x. Okay? Mean to say, i-add natin lahat ng values ng ating x. So, as we read this, the sample mean is equal to the summation of x divided by n. Okay? So, yan yung formula natin for ungroup data. Let's have an example. Our first example is, let us find the mean score of the following sample data set, which is ito yung mga quiz scores ng mga bata. We have 1, 5, 7, 7, 6, 8, 10, 9, 5, 10, and 8. So, the very first step na gagawin natin if we have this kind of sample data, this is actually ungrouped data kasi hindi pa siya nakaayos into frequency distribution, okay? Nakalatag lang siyang ganyan. So, this is ungrouped data. Kaya naman ang gagamitin natin na formula is eto. And it is very clearly indicated na sample data ito. Kaya naman ang gagamitin natin ay itong sample mean for ungrouped data formula natin. So, the first step is to find the sum. Sulat ko lang dito yung ating formula. Sample mean, x bar is equal to the summation of x all over small m. So, first step natin is to find the sum. Because find the sum kasi nga, yun yung kailangan natin sa ating formula, which is the summation of x. So, all we need to do is to add 1 plus 5 plus 7 plus 7 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 9 plus 5 plus 10 and plus 8. So, that is the first step. So, if we add all these numbers, it will give us the total of 176. So, that is our first step. The second step, let us divide the sum by the number of observations. So, observations is yung ating n. Ilan ba yung number? Or ilan ba yung quiz scores na given? Or kung ilan yung inad nating numbers. Yun yung magiging total number of observation natin na magsisilbing letter N natin. So again, sulat ko lang yung ating formula dito sa ating baba. Sample mean is equal to x divided by n. Okay, nakuha na natin yung summation of x, which is yung ginawa natin sa first step. That is 76 divided by yung n natin. Ilan ba yung inad nating lahat dito na numbers? Meron tayong 11 na inad na numbers. So, simply divide it, 76 divided by 11, we will obtain a value of, i-round off na natin. Lahat ng sagot natin, i-round off natin into the nearest hundreds. Okay? So, it will give us 6.90, 90, and so on and so forth. Pero sabi ko nga, i-round off natin lahat ng number, ng sagot into the nearest hundred. So, it will give us the final answer as 6.991. Thus, this is now the sample mean for this sample data set ng ating quiz scores. That is 6.91. Okay. As simple as that. I-add mo lang, then simply divide kung ilan yung numbers na in-add mo. Yun na yung sample mean natin for ungrouped data. But what about sa ating group data? Okay, almost the same. The formula is almost the same for sample mean and population mean. Ang naidagdag lang ay yung ating frequency. Kasi nga group data na siya, okay? Kumbaga, inayos natin into table, ilan ang number, ilan ang, let's say, yung example natin kanina, kung iayos natin ito into frequency, ilan ang nakakuha ng 1 score, itatali mo lang siya, kumbaga, ilan ang nakakuha ng 1 na score, ilan ang nakakuha ng 5, ilan ang nakakuha ng 7, and that's it. It will become a group data. So, kaya naman nadagdag lang yung ating F doon, which is yung frequency nung tali natin sa ating ungrouped data. So, let's have an example. Number 2, what is the mean age in the following set of sample data? Again, that is sample. So, ang gagamitin nating formula is the sample mean for group data, which is the x bar, again, is equal to the summation of fx divided by n. Okay? So, the first step is to find the product of f and x. Bakit f at saka x ang kukunin natin na product? Mind you, sulat lang natin ulit yung ating formula. Kasi dito nalilito minsan yung mga estudyante. Ano ba yung unang step? ang pinaka-importante, kahit hindi mo alam, hindi mo kabisado yung mga given steps or procedures ng pagsosolve, basta alam mo, kabisado mo yung formula, alam na alam mo kung ano yung mga kukunin mo doon sa table o kung ano yung mga kailangan mong gawin. So, fx, summation of fx divided by n. Yan yung formula na gagamitin natin. So, the very first step is to find the product of f and x. Kasi yun po yung kailangan natin sa formula, the f and x. So, we need to create another column for our fx. Okay, mag-create tayo ng column natin for fx. If we're going to multiply, meaning to say, i-multiply natin yung frequency natin, each frequency doon sa kanyang x. So, bawat rows ng x at saka f natin, i-multiply lang natin. So, 16 times 5 will give us the answer 80. Okay, medyo malalaki ang sulat ko. Then, 17 times 10 will give us 170. 18 times 12, that is 216. And lastly, 19 times 8 will be 152. So, we are done with our first step. I-multiply na natin yung each frequency at saka yung age. So, the second step will be add values under column of F. I-add natin yung column natin sa F kasi yun yung magsisilbing total number of observation natin. Okay? So, 5 plus 10 plus 12 plus 8 is 35. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong 35 na tao. Okay? Na may edad na 16, 17, 18, and 19. Yan yung magiging N natin. Pero ano pang kulang natin? Meron na tayong fx, meron na rin tayong n, total number of observations. Ang kulang na lang natin ay yung summation doon sa ating formula. So, ang gagawin lang natin, just simply get, dito naman sa tapat sa column ng ating f of x, get mo lang yung summation ng f of x natin. I-total mo lang siya, that will be the summation of x. So, if we are going to add 80, 170, 216, and 152, it will give us a total of 618. Okay, as simple as that. Kompleto na yung kailangan natin sa formula. So, the third step is to simply divide the obtained value of summation of x by the total number of observations. Okay? So, ilapat lang natin yung sa formula natin. Summation of fx is equal to 618 and our total number of observations is 35. Therefore, if we divide 618 divided by 35, we have 17.66. Kaya naman, this will be the mean age doon sa ating set of sample data. So, 17.66 is the mean age of the sample, the set of sample data. Okay. So, I hope you understand ano kung paano kunin ang mean for ungrouped data and mean for ungrouped data. Now, let us proceed sa median. Sa median naman, from the word middle number, pinakagitna na number. So, it is the value which separates the largest 50% of data values from the lowest 50%. And it is denoted by x tilde. Kulot naman yung nasa taas ng x. Okay? Yun yung pinagkaiba naman na symbol for mean and tsaka median. Kay mean, x bar. Bar yung nasa taas ni x, while sa median, tilde naman yung nasa taas ni x. This is the symbol. So, to calculate the median, place data values in number order. So, we need to arrange the numbers in ascending order. Then, find the middle number. Simply find, ano ba yung pinakagitna ng numbers na, set of data numbers natin. Yun na mismo yung magiging median natin. And if there is an odd number of values, the number in the middle will be the median. Okay? Hindi kasi sa lahat ng pagkakataon ay odd number yung bilang nung data set natin. So, kapag odd siya, simply get the middle number. Yun na yung median. Pero kapag we have even number of values, sa malamang dalawa yung nasa gitna, di ba? Wala kang eksaktong number sa gitna. Dalawa yung pinakagitna. So, kukunin lang natin yung, kapag ganun yung case, kukunin mo lang yung average. Get the average of the two numbers in the middle, and that will be your median. Paano kunin ang average? Simply add the two numbers, and then divide it by 2. That will be the average, and doon makukuha yung middle or median number natin in your data set. Let's have an example. So, find the median in the following set of data. Meron tayong steps na susundin. We have 4 steps. Okay, pero let's cut it short. Wag na tayo sa long method, kumbaga. Okay? So, lagi lang tatandaan yung binanggit ko lang kanina, yung binasa natin kanina. So, bilangin mo yon kung ganyan ang data set natin. For ungrouped data, bilangin mo kung ilan yung number. Okay? So, bilangin natin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, we have 9. Our total number of observation is 9. And 9 is an odd number. Right? Therefore, kung odd yung bilang niya, bilangin mo lang kung sino ba yung pinakagitna. But before that, before mo tignan yung pinakagitna, tignan mo rin muna kung nakaayos yung set of data mo into ascending number. So, in this case, as we can see, hindi naman naka-arrange yung set of data natin, diba? So, we need to rearrange it into ascending order. Yun yung wag nyong kakalimutan. Okay? So, if we are going to arrange that, we will have first number natin ay 24, then 29, next is 32, and dalawa yung 32 natin, then 35, we also have 36, 47, 55, and 57. Ayan, naayos na natin siya into ascending order. So, again, sabi ko nga kanina, low method kasi itong steps natin, procedures natin. So, na-arrange natin, diba? So, 9, odd number, diba? So, sino ba yung pinakagitna? Makikita naman natin pag binilang natin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then, bilang ulit tayo sa kabila. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, exactly, meron tayong middle number na 35. So, si 35 ngayon, siya ngayon yung ating median. Okay, as simple as that. Kahit hindi natin sundin itong second step, third, at saka fourth step. Kapag odd yung bilang ng number natin, simply get the, find the middle number. Yun na yung magiging median natin. So, the middle number or the median of the following set of data is 35. Okay? That is applicable only for ungrouped data. But what if meron tayong even na bilang ng set of data? Okay. So, this time, same example, pero nadagdagan lang ng isang number kasi para magkaroon naman tayo ng example for even number. So, this time, kanina 9, diba? So, 10 naman yung bilang ng ating set of sample data. So, 10 na siya, nadagdagan lang. And again, don't forget na ayusin lagi. Okay, ayusin lagi in ascending order yung inyong set of data. So, i-write lang natin kung ano yung mga naisulat natin kanina. Una ay si 24, 29, dalawang 32, 35, 36, 40, 47, 55, and then we have 57. So, 10 lahat yung number natin. Okay, so anong gagawin natin? Kung kanina binilang natin, ibilangin natin sino ba yung pinakagitna na number natin. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Dalawa na yung pinakagitnang number natin, di ba? So, wala tayong exact na middle number, median. So, kapag ganyan na case, ang gagawin lang natin, simply get the average of these two number. Meaning to say, i-add mo lang siya, 35 plus 36, and divide it by 2. Always i-divide mo siya sa 2 kasi dalawa lang naman yung pinag-add mo na number. So, if you're going to add this, 35 plus 36, and divide it, it will be 71. And then 71 divided by 2 will give us the answer 35.5. So, this is now our median number. So, as simple as that. Kapag even yung bilang ng number, add the two middle number, then divided by 2, yun na yung middle. Yun na yung mismo yung eksaktong median number natin. Next, yun ay for ungrouped data. Okay? So, what if we have we have group data naman. So, ayan, nakaayos naman yung ating data into group or into frequency. So, let us find the median age in the given frequency distribution. Still, iba na, pag ganito na group data yung given, iba naman yung paraan kung paano natin hanapin yung ating median number. So, the first step is to find the total frequency and the cumulative frequency natin or yung CF natin. So, ano ba ang total ng ating frequency natin na 5 plus 10 plus 12 plus 8 is 35. Okay. Yan ngayon, si 35, yan ngayon yung N natin. Okay? So, yun yung first step. Second step is to obtain the column for the cumulative frequency. So, wala tayong CF. Magdagdag tayo ng column for our cumulative frequency or CF dun sa ating table. And with that, paano natin kukunin ang ating cumulative frequency? Para gawin ito, simply copy the first number above, okay? Above. Bakit sa taas tayo mag-i-start? Kasi take note, yung arrangement ng ating X or nung age ay ascending. Okay? Ascending yung order niya, kaya naman mag-i-start tayo sa taas. Pero, take note, kung descending yung arrangement ng ating number, let's say si 19 ay nandito sa taas at si 16 ay nasa baba, dito ka naman mag-i-start sa baba sa pagkuha ng cumulative frequency. I hope it is clear. So, this time, yung example natin ay ascending. So, mag-start tayo sa taas. Copy the first number ng ating frequency, which is 5. And then, para makuha natin yung susunod na number, yung first cumulative frequency mo, i-add mo lang siya kay 10, yung susunod na number. So, 5 plus 10 is 15. Para makuha mo na naman yung susunod number, i-add mo na naman si 15 dun sa susunod na number, which is C12. So, 12 plus 15 is 27. And again, same process, i-add mo lang ulit si 27 dun sa susunod na number, which is si 8. So, 27 plus 8 is 35. So, take note class, Kung hindi man, dapat, okay, I should say, dapat laging pareho yung dulo ng cumulative frequency ninyo ay tutugma at sasakto doon sa inyong total number of observations. 35, 35. So, check yung ginawa natin. So, to check kung mali yung pagkuha mo ng cumulative frequency, kung hindi sumakto yung total mo doon, yung dulo ng number mo doon, ay may mali na doon sa pagkuha mo or pag-add mo ng cumulative frequency. Now, after natin kunin yung ating cumulative frequency, ang total number of observation natin ay odd number. Kaya naman kapag ganyan na odd number, yung third step natin, compute n plus 1 divided by 2. Magdagdag daw tayo ng 1 kay 35 divided by 2. So, 35 plus 1 is 36 divided by 2. That is 18. Okay? So, 18 yung nakuha natin. Now, proceed tayo sa step 4. Locate yung pinag-add natin kanina doon sa ating cumulative frequency. So, ilocate natin si 18. Saan ba makikita sa 18 doon sa ating cumulative frequency? Take note, class, na yung arrangement nito, si 18 ay hindi makikita sa 15 na, kasi ang ibig sabihin nito na sa 5 ay yung numbers from 1 to 5. Si 15 naman, 6 to 15, then 16 to 27, and 28 to 35. So, ganyan yung arrangement ng cumulative frequency natin. So, saan ba natin makikita ngayon si number 18? Doon sa ating CF. Which is clearly naman is nakalagay siya dito between 16 to 27. Therefore, makikita natin si 18 dito sa ating, hindi siya kita. Dito sa hindi rin siya kita. Ayan, sa ating 27. Hindi siya kita. Liwan ko na. Ayan, dito sa 27. Nandyan yung ating fourth step, location ng ating 18. And after that, let us, sa last step natin, find the 18th observation doon sa ating first column. Ano ba? Sino ba yung katapat niya doon sa ating first column? So, obviously naman, yung kanyang katapat ay si 18, di ba? Katapat ng ating 27. Therefore, si 18 ngayon yung ating median. Okay, as simple as that. Okay? Again, recall lang tayo. First, kunin mo muna yung total number of observation mo, yung n, sa tapat sa column ng ating frequency. Next is to get the cumulative frequency. Copy the first number, then add to the next number. So, ganun lang. And after that, locate mo lang kung odd yung total number of observations, mag plus 1 ka lang, then divide by 2. Then, ilocate mo kung saan makikita yon sa location ng cumulative frequency mo. And then, kung sino yung katapat niya doon sa first column mo, yun na yung magsisilbing median mo. Okay. Next, and last but not the least na klase ng measures of central tendency is the mode. Okay, the mode is the data value which appears most frequent. It appears most frequent in the set. Sino ba yung naulit-ulit na number? Okay, siya na yung mode mo doon. And there might be one or more modes or wala ka namang mode for every data set. One mode, dyan yung unimodal natin. More modes, bimodal, mga gano'n. Or kung no mode naman, no mode lang talaga. Hindi naman, huwag mong ipilit kung talagang wala kang makitang mode doon sa dataset mo, okay? So, example, we have here, gamitin natin yung mga examples na ginamit natin for mean and median. So, in this dataset, let's find the mode. Sabi niya, most frequent. So, tignan mo lang, you don't need to rearrange the set of data. Pero tignan mo lang, sino ba yung number na naulit-ulit? Okay, 35. Mag-isa lang naman yung 35, 47, 36. Alright. So, ayan, nakita ko na si 32 at 32. Dalawang beses siya na ulit. Therefore, if in that case, meron tayong bimodal sa set of data na ito. And, therefore, 32 yung mode nung ating set of data. Dito sa example na ito. But how about kapag group yung data natin, nakalagay siya into this frequency distribution table? Well, mga anak, simple lang naman ang paghanap ng mode kapag nasa frequency distribution table tayo, okay? Tignan mo lang sa frequency. Dito yung frequency natin, right? Yan yung right. Dito yung frequency natin. Sino ba sa kanila yung pinakamarami? Okay, obviously, si 12 ang pinakamarami. Therefore, kung sino yung katapat niya doon, eto na mismo yung ating mode. Kasi siya yung pinakamaraming beses na ulit-ulit. Okay? Siya yung pinakamarami. Therefore, 18 is our mode. Okay? Although naulit-ulit si 16, 17, and 19, ang goal natin dito is most frequent. Most frequent. Kung sanang pareho si 17 na pareho sila ng 12 ang bilang, okay, then kasali si 17 sa mode mo kasi pareho silang 12 ang frequency. But since hindi sila pareho, mas mataas si 12. Kaya naman si 18 lang ang magiging mode natin dito sa group dataset na ito. Okay? So, that's it for the measures of central tendency lesson.